Hello, everyone, and welcome back, and thanks for joining me again. I have another Magic the Gathering deck arena showcase here for you all. But first, I would like to go over just a wee bit of news. I do have videos coming. It's just my schedule. It's just I can't ever get my schedule online, and two of the games I were playing through bugged out on me, so I couldn't get to finish those. But I do have other content coming, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, I just became affiliated with Gray Vikings. They are a website that sells codes for booster packs, sleeves, everything you could possibly need for Magic the Gathering Arena. They sell. There will be a link down in the description below. Using my link and purchasing from grayviking.com will in turn help me generate coupons so I can give them out to all of y'all for being so supportive and sticking with my very dull YouTube. And then those codes would range from like $5, $10, $15, so forth and so forth. So definitely stay tuned for those as they come. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the deck. This is the Devil's Carnival. It is from the Ravnica set. It's an older set, but it's really cool. This is one of the first decks I made in Arena. It's actually quite good actually. I've used it to climb in rank from like gold and plat and stuff. So I mean it's decent. Starting off, we have 1 mana for a 1/1 Footlight Fiend. When it dies, deals 1 damage to any target. So, I mean, we can use that to block an opponent's 2/2, and we'll be able to kill it off by dealing the 1 damage through his effect. Or, I mean, there's just so many different ways you can play it with that ability. I mean, we run 3. It's a devil. He's on a stage. We got 2 Cult Guild Mages. It's a 2 for 2/2. You could tap 4 mana and it to make a target player discard a card, or you can tap him and 1 red to deal 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. So it's not bad. Again, he's a 2 for 2/2, and you got an option to either ping your opponent for 1 damage or make him discard. So it's not a bad card. Plus, he's a jester or whatever, puppeteer or whatever, so he goes with the carnival, goes in the deck. Every carnival needs a headliner, so we have Rakdos Headliner, 2 mana for a 3/3. He has haste. The only downside is if I speak right, is that he has Echo, which means on your next turn you have to sacrifice him or discard a card. So remember that when you use him. But it's nice to go in for a quick 3 damage if you can, since it's got haste, or if you just need a decent blocker out on the field and you got a card in your hand you don't mind tossing to the grave. He'll get the job done a little bit. Then we got Drill Bit, 3 mana cost. Now it does Spectacle. You will see there are several cards in here that have the Spectacle cost. It is a older ability, but pretty much if you deal damage to your opponent in any type of way, you could play cards for their Spectacle cost instead of their regular mana cost. So if we were to deal, say, 3 damage to our opponent with Rakdos Headliner, it would make Drill Bit cost 1 mana to cast. And when we cast Drill Bit, we get to reveal the player's hand, and we can choose a non-land card from it and discard it. So it's very good. It helps disrupt the opponent's hands. You could see some of their key pieces early and get rid of them. It's a very good card. We got 2 of them in there. Then for our board wipe card for the deck, we have Cry of the Carnival. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn, and exile all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn, And if a creature would die this turn, exile it instead. That's their board wipe card. Obviously, it's really good if you're going up against, token deck, 1/1 decks, stuff like that. It kind of lacks off against big boy decks because you're only giving everything a -2, -2. But it fits with the theme of the deck. Decent card, rerun 2. We have a light up the stage. Again, this is another card where if you can deal damage to your opponent, you can play it for its spectacle cost of 1 mana. You get to exile the top 2 cards of your library, and until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. It's very, very nice. It not only helps us draw out cards out of our deck, but it allows us to hopefully play out those cards as well, so that way we don't have to exile them after. So we run 2 of those. We have Skewer the Critics, and same thing again. It has a spectacle cost of 1 red mana, and it deals 3 damage to any target. So that's Planeswalker, any creature your opponent controls, or even the player themselves. Run 3, Skewer the Critics. Close out games, ping your opponent down. I mean, overall it's a very good card to have. And it goes with the whole theme of the deck, of course. And we have one of my favorite Planeswalkers, Tybalt. Pretty much straight up, your opponent can't gain life. A wonderful card, especially when you're faced with white weenie decks and stuff like that. Yeah, they cower at the fear of this man. But you can -2 loyalty counters, and you can create a 1/1 devil creature token with when it dies, you deal 1 damage to any target. So it's very, very good. We have 2 of these in the deck. The fact that he is a uncommon and not a rare is actually really, really nice. And we have 3 Acrobat. It's a 3 mana cost, but again, it has Spectacle. And you can either tap 1 black mana to give it Death Touch, or you could tap 1 red mana to give it a +2, -2. So overall, you can use it, tap Death Touch, use it to block one of your opponent's creatures, or you can give it both Death Touch and a +2, -2, and swing for a 4/1 with Death Touch. And it has Spectacle, so you can pull her out for cheaper. Very good card. She's walking on a tightrope. Run 3 of those. We have 1 Judith the Scourge Diva. I find only running 1 of her is enough, especially considering she's a legendary. But for 3 mana, she's a 2/2. Other creatures you control get +1, +0, and whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Diva deals 1 damage to any target. So overall, extremely good. It goes with the theme of the deck of dealing damage to any target, etc., etc. And again, it fits with the whole Devil's Carnival theme. We have Theater of Horrors as our enchantment card. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can exile the top card of your library. Then, during your turn, if your opponent lost life this turn, you may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with Theater of Horrors, or you could just tap 4 and deal 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. It's a very good card, especially if you have a lot of cards already under the stack on it and manage to deal some damage to your opponent and have a lot of open mana. You can play a lot of cards. And not to mention, it does help as a draw engine by getting through some of our deck faster. So we have 1 of those. We have 2 Dead Rivals. Again, another spectacle card. You can return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty self-explanatory, just in case we need to get back one of our creatures. We can't use it to bring back Tybalt since he's a planeswalker, and planeswalkers don't count as creatures. So that kind of sucks, but overall it does help us recover creatures if we need to. We have Spikewool Acrobat. She is a 5/2, and if you can manage to pay her spectacle cost, she is a 3 mana cost for 5/2. So that's a very strong presence to pop on the board pretty early for your opponent to deal with. Then we go to Macabre Mockery. It is a 4 mana cost instant, and this is a really fun one. You can put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gets +2/+0, gains haste, and you sack it at the beginning of your next end step. So you can literally finish off your opponent with this card if they have like a big boy card or something in their deck. Yeah, you can finish them off like easy peasy with this card right here. It's kind of ridiculous. Not to mention it's going to get sacked at the end of the turn, at the beginning of the next turn, anyways. I mean, it's a great card, but we only run one. I don't really find the need to run any more than that. It is a really funny card though, but it's not my favorite card in the deck. And next up is Rakdos Firewheeler. He costs 4, 2 black, 2 red. When he enters the battlefield, you get to do 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to one target creature or planeswalker. He's a 4/3. He's very, very good. He can immediately take out a weak creature your opponent controls when he hits the field, not only pinging your opponent for 2 damage, but with him being a 4/3, makes him a pretty decent creature to have out on the battlefield. We got 2 of those. We have our first double-sided card in Carnival, Carnage. You could either pay the 1 mana and deal 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker and 1 damage to that permanent's controller, or you could pay 4 mana to deal 3 damage to target opponent and that player discards 2 cards, which again goes with the whole disruption of our opponent and etc. etc. Not to mention the artwork in it is absolutely perfect for a Devil's Carnival. Then we go down to Get the Point, which is pretty self-explanatory. For 5 mana, destroy target creature, and you get to scry 1. The artwork in the card is absolutely hilarious. Definitely goes with the Carnival. As you see, the flavor text on it even mentions Judith, the Scourge Diva. So we got 2 of those in there. We have our next double-sided card in Bedek and Bedazzle. For 2 mana, target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn, or you could pay the 6 to destroy target non-basic land and deal 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Which I really don't pay that Bedazzle 6 mana cost as much. It's mainly the pay the 2 to give a creature +3/-3 is what we're mainly after for the most part, but having the double side to it is relatively nice. Next up, we have the main man in the deck, Rakdos the Showstopper. He is a 6 mana cost for 6/6. Get it? 6/6/6, Mark of the Beast. He has flying, he has trample. When he enters the battlefield, you get to flip a coin for each creature that isn't a demon, devil, or imp. Destroy each creature whose coin comes up tails. Again, this card it's like a double-edged sword, because it can kill your monsters too, and in Arena you don't actually see the coin flips either, so it kind of all happens instantly, as hopefully we'll see in a couple of games we play. But overall, he's a very, very fun card. Again, he's got flying, he's got trample, he's got Mark of the Beast. I mean, where would your Devil's Carnival be without the Showstopper? Now, the next card we have is my favorite card in the deck, Captive Audience. It costs a 7 whopping mana, but when it enters the battlefield, it will enter under your opponent's control, and at the beginning of their upkeep, they get to choose one that hasn't been chosen yet. Their life either becomes 4, they discard their hand, or they let us create 5 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Absolutely hilarious card, especially if you can manage to pull it off early in the game. It makes your opponent it makes your opponent sweat a bit. It's a very fun card, but it does cost 7 mana though. It's quite expensive. Next, we do have our lands. We got swamps and mountains, of course, since it's a red and black deck. Rakdos Guildgate, because, again, Rakdos. And 2 lands that I find are essential in almost any black deck, really. Well, kinda. But it enters the battlefield tapped. But the thing here with this one is, you could pay 4 mana and sacrifice it to deal 3 damage to target player. That player discards a card. Now, I really like this card because you can have this card sitting out on the field, like at the beginning of the game, if you draw it, you know, and your first 5 or 6 cards, and, you know, you play it down for land. You could literally have that card being a ticking time bomb until your opponent gets down to 3 life, or you can burn them down to 3 life, and then just tap the 4 mana to sack the Skull Karn, and just deal the 3 damage to the target player and win the game. Most opponents don't even see it coming when I win off of that card. So we have 2 of those in the deck. It's very cheeky. That's the deck. Now, like we always do, we're going to do about maybe 2 or 3 games so you can see how the deck fares. And from there, y'all can do with the deck as y'all please. I would really like to see some other people's decks, what y'all come up with, if y'all do use any of my decks for inspiration. I can always use more tips myself. I don't think ranked is reset yet. I think that resets tomorrow, I think. Let's check real quick. I'm pretty sure it resets. Yeah, it resets tomorrow, so we won't play ranked since we're in diamond and we don't want to lose our diamond position, so we'll just play some historic play, and hopefully we don't go up against any stupid mill decks or just something brain dead easy. I want a challenge. Not a bad hand. We got our favorite card, Tybalt. I think we're gonna keep it. Looks like he's got a companion though. Don't see companions very often. Should play something this turn. It's gonna have 3 mana. Pretty neat lands over there. Come on, buddy. Any time today now. We ain't getting any younger here. Oh, come on. Don't be a surrender, please. I ain't even got red mana out yet, for God's sake. So I really wish I could have, because we could have been played Tybalt by now. This man wants to keep gaining 1 life. Are you not just gonna pass? Okay, whatever, buddy. Like that. He's probably gonna surrender. This isn't how I wanted my first match to go, but I guess we'll take the W. The only bad thing about arenas sometimes, people will just sit there and let the timer go because they know they either got a bad hand or they might not feel like dealing with that type of color you're playing. It's just stupid. Oh, well, no, he's definitely there because he just discarded a card.
Play nicely. Oh, they're so cute.
Now he's probably gonna quit. I would assume. Making this a very uninteresting video. Man whose name I can't pronounce. Hopefully the next battle won't be an AFKer. Come on, just give me the W. We won't count that one. That wasn't a match. Let's try again. It's not a bad hand. I think we'll keep it. Pretty much got a ramp up hand, pretty much. 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4. Hey. Bad. Bad. Probably gonna get rid of, yeah, I'm about to say. Ah. That was kind of a waste, but I mean, really had no choice there. but he's got stupid life gain. How much life did he gain back? Dang, he gained 5 back. Crap. Dang, and it's only going to deal 1 damage. Dang, he won. I really hate flying, man. That is one of the cheapest things in the game, and I really wish it wasn't a mechanic. Like, it's the most cheapest ability in the game. Is a creature that can only be blocked by either another flying creature or another creature with reach. Like, that is the most trollingest mechanic in the game, in my opinion, is flying. It really makes me want to just make a straight spider deck using the new spider from the Lord of the Rings set, which we might dabble in, because I'm really sick and tired of flying. Yeah, buddy's playing like black and blue. Ah, again. Yeah, now I get to do it to you. How do you like it? Oh yeah, that's probably definitely gonna have to go bye-bye right there. There's that victory. Alright. Let's get one more in, and I think boy, I will learn to speak the King's English. We'll play one more, and we'll call it that for this video. we would be playing off of a no mana hand. That's kind of risky. That's very risky. Ah, crap. You know what? That could screw us, though. Just go ahead and take the mulligan. This really ain't no better, but I would really like to play captive audience this game, but I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna be possible. We're gonna have to deep draw into some mana. Hope our friend here isn't playing a straight beat you down to death deck. That's their ticking time bomb, so if we can play this, we can end the game. But we gotta get out 5 more mana in order to do it. And I don't think he's playing life gain, I don't think. Go ahead and see what he's plotting. Ah, the inevitable discard. Play that mana, and we get to play that. Yep, this one's in the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Killed it. Alright, he ain't got nothing in his hand. What guy is blessing? Ah, yeah. Ah, he's a smart man. Oh, wow, we can't be blocked. Ah. He should be dead. Oh, he's about to pay the 3 to cycle. Okay, he's done for. All we need to do is draw Skewer the Critics, or, I mean, really, anything, really. Could have probably closed out of the game if we would have played that first, but oh well. Well, we could have just spent all the mana for the, well, no, because we wouldn't have been able to play him for the cost, though, because that would have costed us our 4 mana. Oh, your Gandalf doesn't matter, bud. Yep, that's game. Well, there you have it, folks. The Devil's Carnival. I wish I could have pulled off captive audience, but I mean, you know, you gotta take them as you get them. I'll pull the deck up one more time here, so you can see it. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any games you would like to see me play in the future. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll grab it. I will play it. And I'll mention you at the beginning of the video that you recommended it to me and give you a nice little shout out. Also, don't forget about my Gray Vikings link. That'll be down in the description. And do all that other fun stuff, share my videos and all that good stuff, and yeah, I will see everybody next time.